Yo, what is up? I'm going to expand on my back injury situation like I promised I would on Instagram, and I'm on my way to a natural grocers right now. So I thought, what better time to just thought dump and kind of explain my situation than right now. So I'm just going to get right into it. This is going to be super raw, unfiltered, no script. You know the vibes. You're not new here. Basically what happened was I was squatting last Wednesday. Today is Friday. So last Wednesday I was squatting. I worked up to a heavy single on back squat, which was 405. I attempted 425 and I probably should have got it. I just honestly just bitched out and kind of had it in my head that I wasn't going to get it, and I didn't get it, but that's besides the point. After that, I did some clustered pin squats, did one set at 355. Felt phenomenal. I've added quite a bit of weight to those over the past couple of months, and they've been feeling really good. Squat's been something that I've neglected in the past, and it is what it is, but that's why I'm working on it. So anyways, did my second set, or was about to do my second set. I go to lift the bar off of the pins, and I feel pop on the left side of my lower back, kind of in the SI joint area. I've had some issues there before, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's the end of the session, which was not ideal. I wasn't able to finish out everything that I wanted to do. I was going to do RDLs, couldn't do those. I ended up doing some Nordics and finished up the session, went home, and kind of accepted the fact that the next couple of days were not going to be very fun from a training standpoint. So, like I mentioned in the video, the first thing I did was I rested. For the first 24 hours, I didn't ice my back. I didn't take NSAIDs, Aleve, ibuprofen, whatever. I didn't do any of that stuff. I literally did nothing. I just took time off. I rested, went about my day normally, and made sure that I was letting the healing process occur, because the problem with a lot of these people, PTs, doctors, whatever, they are functioning on methodologies that were put into place 50, 60 years ago. Like the guy that literally created the acronym of RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation, recanted his statement after he made that, and he changed it. So RICE is an outdated way to approach injuries. When you are icing something, especially something like a soft tissue injury, something like what I did in the gym, you're blunting that inflammation. Now, inflammation is not inherently bad. Inflammation is your body's healing response. Acute inflammation is normal. If I hurt my back and there was no inflammation, that would be very alarming. If it didn't hurt, and I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, long story short, you don't want to blunt inflammation, especially in the acute phase. So the first 24 hours, I did nothing. The thought of going to a doctor or something didn't enter my mind. That thought has not entered my mind for probably 4 years now. But that's neither here nor there. So after that, after those first 24 hours, I injured it on Wednesday at around noon. So starting Thursday at around noon, I started moving it. Just nice and light. I didn't put any load on it. I didn't do anything crazy. I went through some spinal hygiene, did some neck moves, did some hip moves, and really just started isolating what movements gave me the most issue. So for me, since it was on my left side, rotating to the right, or honestly just rotating in general, and then bending to either side, were mainly what gave me a ton of pain. So I started there. First thing I did, I just started doing very slight range of motion side bends, and gradually progressed that until I could do more and more range of motion. And after I started moving around a little bit, it started to loosen up and it started to feel better. So that was the first day, and I did this in front of the red light, of course, for the photobiomodulation properties, the red, the near infrared, the healing, all that good stuff. And in combination with the active modalities that I started to engage in, that being movement, and the passive modality that I started to use, that being red light, I made sure everything outside of that was covered. I made sure all of the variables that could potentially hinder my rehabilitation and my recovery we're covered. And thankfully, they are covered 99% of the time. That's why I do this stuff, because I find value in it. I enjoy doing it. So my diet, dialed. My sleep, dialed. Training, not dialed, because I can't really do anything, but training becomes the rehab. Rehab is training. Training is rehab. It's all the same. Dialed. So, there we go. Next day, start to progress. I'm sure if you lift or know anything about training, you understand what progressive overload is. Well, the same thing applies to rehab. So the next day, I did a little more. I added in a little more movements. I did some isos. I did some specific hip joint moves to activate the glute and the surrounding tissues around where I injured my back. Little bit of a tangent, but I hate looking at these things like injuries, because injury means to be injured. The etymology of injury insinuates that there is damage. Well, I disagree with the fact that I damaged my back. I likely did not damage anything. Or if I did, it was so small and negligible that doesn't really matter. Something that you can use, food for thought, is when you get hurt or injured, whatever, don't look at it in a negative sense. Simply observe it. Come to terms with it. Be like, okay, my back hurts. That's what I did. I took the first 24 hours, and that's why I don't take the NSAIDs or ice it, because I also want to feel that pain response. I want my body to understand, hey, our back, we did something that we weren't ready for. We did something that we couldn't handle yet. Good. That's good feedback. That's not bad. That's not negative. I understand, okay, maybe my back wasn't ready for that. Now I know what I need to do more of in the gym. Anyways, so third day, continued to progress some things. Isos, like I said, more spine movement. Something that also helped me a lot was decompression through the form of dead hangs and like a top dip iso. Holding that, accumulated, I think I was doing like 2 or 3 minutes total in one set on the hangs, and then same thing for the top dip. Did some lunge isos, did a standing glute ham iso, pulling myself into position, really trying to put myself in positions where I could lengthen that tissue that was inflamed, and so it could relax, so I could decrease the tone, because we don't want, when you get hurt, you have overactivity in the area that's hurting, and I wanted to relax that and tell my body, hey, it's okay, there's no problem here. I know that you don't feel safe and you want to protect me and you want to make my back hurt and make it swollen and limit my range of motion. I'm going to put myself in a position that lets my brain understand that it's okay for me to be in that position. So I did that. And then the next day, I continued to make sure my diet was good, make sure my sleep was good, make sure I was still walking every single day. Granted, it hurt like hell to go for a walk every single morning, and I couldn't really take that long of strides, and I walked like a damn grandpa, but I made sure to get my steps in regardless. I went for a walk every single day, multiple times a day. And other than that, life was entirely normal. The only difference was I wasn't able to train at the intensity that I wanted to. So, continued to progress, continued to add more and more stimulus to my training / rehab, and I slowly started to feel better. So I kept doing the things that worked, that being the spinal movement, the isos, the decompression, and then I started adding load in certain positions. So something like a standing glute ham, which if you're unaware, is essentially like a Jefferson curl, except I'm pulling myself down instead of just sitting there in the bottom. I'm pulling myself down, and the thought process is I can get my lower back to lengthen, and that helped a lot. I added weight on that. It helped me put load on that tissue and helped it relax a little bit. And I think probably on the fifth day, I think, I was able to stand up out of that glute ham iso, and I was like, damn, like I have literally no sensation of pain at all. Genuinely no sensation of pain. It's like it never even happened. Completely loosened up. There was no concept in my mind of my back was hurt anymore. I went for a walk after, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. I feel basically brand new. And then the next day, granted, I woke up, slept good, and my back was a little tight, but it is whatever. And then I just kept doing that. And then I think on the 6th or 7th day, I woke up and it just didn't hurt anymore. And fast forward to today, which is the 9th day, I have no symptoms. I hit an upper body lift 3 days ago. 2 days ago, I had a sprint session, which I just posted on YouTube, on here. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And then yesterday, I hit legs. And then today's a rest day, and I still feel great. I've lifted heavy on the upper body. I've sprinted and I've jumped. I've loaded my back. I did back squats last week. I did yesterday, I did 2 sets at 315, which isn't that heavy for me, but I was able to put myself in that position and I had no issues at all. Back felt a hundo P. So that's what I did. It's nothing crazy. The I guess nuanced or novel approach that I used is more so what people don't really use in their training or even in their rehab, of just keeping it simple and doing very simple things and having this very meticulous approach to, what am I doing? What was the nature of the injury? What happened? What does that mean? What does that mean my body is telling me? And then from there, having the self-awareness and the body awareness, the kinesthetic awareness, to understand how a movement impacts how you feel. So if I'm doing something, I should be able to notice at some point, whether it be like as soon as I do it, as soon as I get out of it, or 20 minutes later, an hour later, the next day, you should be able to look back and be like, oh, hey, that made me feel better, so I'm going to keep doing that. And if it doesn't make you feel better, maybe try it for a couple more days. And if you don't get any more feedback on it that's positive, maybe throw it out. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that. I'm pulling into Natural Grocers right now, but that was a bit of a rant. I'm sure it was not very coherent, but y'all asked for it. So that's all I got to say. Go check out the sprint session video. Took me a minute to edit. No, it didn't. Oh, that's a lie. But yeah, I'm going to go in here to Natural Grocers and get like 4 different beverages. So yeah, I appreciate you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. If you want to leave me a comment of what, like a video topic you'd like me to cover in a schizo rant like this, or like a workout, or just a question you want to know my answer to, let me know and I will get that taken care of. But like I said, thank you for watching. See you later.